see you. Say what? I don't know. Y'all, please sit. Oh, I'm gonna sit. We're running too many places. Oh. Well, come in. Oh my, y'all come in for sure. Who is this? Now, somebody tell me. What did they say? Oh, hey Judy, how you doing? White Sulphur Springs, too good. Listen, y'all come up here and I'll stand right here and they'll get a really good picture of you. Yeah. They'll put you on the TV and everything if you come up here. Y'all get over here on this side some. Oh man, you can get a little closer. How you doing there, man? Good to see you. Hey, y'all got to keep it where they can halfway see me. Are y'all having fun? Where all have y'all been today? You have? Too good. Too good. Well, what's the most exciting thing you've done?
We got to vote.
You got to vote?
I'm playing video games all day.
Oh, all right. How many times did you vote? I'm just teasing. Listen, I'm so happy y'all are here and everything. That's good stuff. And you're learning stuff, aren't you?
Yeah.
Too good. Too good.
Okay.
Well, y'all are so beautiful. All right, now y'all got to run, okay? Thank y'all for coming and seeing me. Oh, I love it. Thank you so much. Thank y'all. Oh, this is too exciting. All right, guys. All y'all be good. Be good. See y'all. All right. See you now. You did? Okay. Be good. See all of you. Take care. Way to go. I'm proud of all y'all. So much. I'm proud of you. Shake my hand there. It looks like you've been buck hunting. Have you been? Okay. Did you do any good? Okay. How you doing? Great to see you. Oh, that's a great surprise there. Hey, Leanne, how you doing? That's one of my ex-players right there. Of course, I've coached so long, everybody's an ex-player. Oh, well, I'll let them get going first. How you doing, Mike? That's good, sir. That's
Thanks
good.
for allowing us to be here today.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Well, let me say this. Yeah, tomorrow is a gigantic day in our state. We've been going around the state trying to explain, instruct as best we possibly can, give knowledge, answer questions, as to what's at stake, if there's going to be new taxes, if West Virginians are going to get the jobs, how many jobs will it create, do we think? All the different things that people come up with and that we want the public to know and want them to be knowledgeable of. And so, we've tried to do that in as gentlemanly a way as I could possibly do it, from the standpoint of trying to answer every question. I've sat in town halls for 2.5 hours, and I've sat there most places for an hour and tried to answer every single question that was asked. So the long and the short of it is, tomorrow is enormously important in my eyes. I truly believe it's the biggest election in the history of this state ever. I think that, and I base that around just simply just this. If there's a no vote, I think the leadership of this state would say it's going to be really difficult. You almost don't know where to turn. You know you're going to have to make unbelievable cuts, and it's going to hurt a lot of people. And with that, we're not going to probably get our roads fixed, and on top of that, we're going to lose the job opportunity that could come, and on top of that, you know, what's next? Where are you going to turn? More people are going to leave. So with that being said, everybody knows all this stuff. We've been through it 14,000 different times, and you know, there's the idea in the beginning, you know, that taxes are going to raise and all that people have been scared about. There's nothing to that, you know. So the net result is we know the turnout's not going to be as large as we'd like it to be, but we've got to urge people to go vote in every way, shape, form, or fashion. That's the bottom line today, is go vote. You know, whether you're for or against, and I hope to goodness that people will look at the facts and very quickly realize that there is no downside to a yes vote, and there's massive downside to a no vote. So with all that being said, you know, we've got the ability to bring a lot of West Virginians home and reunite families and give them good jobs and generate massive amounts of revenue that we can turn around and spend into our general budget and do a lot of good stuff. So all that being said, I'll answer any of your questions, and I'll turn it over to you. Somebody's got to ask something though. And you guys always ask.
Governor, I hear you address it in town halls, and I hear people ask you about the number of West Virginians who may feel the Are there particular things that could be done to provide greater assurances to West Virginians taking this job?
Well, I would say this. Within the legalities of the parameters that I've got to work, I would do any of those things to ensure, whatever they may be, to ensure West Virginians get all the jobs. You know, I mean, it's almost a physical impossibility with the number of jobs that are going to be there. But we need to try to do everything that we can do within the framework of government to give us the best advantage to get all the West Virginians we can to work. Now we have the Jobs Act, and within the programs that are state funding or state associated funding, which should be about 2/3 of the jobs the way I understand it. You know, we have the Jobs Act that will help us with 75% of the employment being West Virginians, provided they're qualified. And then we've got to have our tech schools and community colleges amp up and everything and try to get more and more people, West Virginians, on the job. Now, the hidden resource here to me, though, is the West Virginians that had to leave to go get a job. Those people can pass a drug test. And those people absolutely want to come home to West Virginia, and their families want them to come home. And those people are already qualified, being craftsmen and construction, you know, workers and everything. And so, you know, that is a hidden resource to bring our people home that is really, really heartwarming to me. You know, the other thing is this, you know, we're going to bid these jobs all labor intensive, and that gives us the ability to hire extra labor on the jobs and then do on-the-job training that will really be beneficial to basically apprenticeship work right on the job.
Governor, I understand the Wood County Republican Executive Committee is currently running robocalls urging Republicans to vote against this bond referendum. Does it concern you that your party is working against you?
Well, of course it concerns me. You know, I just can't fathom the why. And I truly don't understand it. You know, you've got the President of the Senate, Mitch Carmichael, sitting right here, and Mitch will tell you he's all in. You've got a vote of the Senate 34-0. Every one, and Mitch reminds me of that all the time, every single one of them voted for this. You've got a vote in the House of 90 to 8 and 2 absent for it. You've got nearly every county commission and every newspaper endorsing it all over the state, and you've got a group that is just spewing out vile, to tell you the truth. And we don't need to let those people prevail, because they'll hurt all of us. And I can't say anything other than true. Yes, sir, it's disappointing, and you know, but I don't know how to stop it.
Where will you be on Saturday?
Well, I'll be here Saturday evening, and I'll go vote tomorrow morning, and then I'll probably, I don't know that I'll do any good bow hunting in the middle of the day, but I may try to go do that, and then I'll come down late in the evening. But you know, if you know, I was just thinking, you know, about this group that's, you know, that's out there trying to spew out the vile, and you know, I really wonder what's the end game. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, if you have some bone to pick over past legislation, well, for crying out loud, that's not my doing, you know, and really and truly, if this fails, I would ask them over and over and over, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You know, and nobody's ever been able to answer it, because they're afraid to answer it. Because what's going to happen is, if this fails, this is our only revenue source, additional revenue source. This is it. And if you've got a multi-hundred millions of dollars of deficit, and this is your only additional revenue source, then it's real simple. You're going to have to cut more higher ed, close more K through 12 schools. You're going to have to get into Medicaid of people. You're going to have to cut DHHR. You're going to have to close maybe some of our universities. And then when you do all that, you're going to awaken to a situation where more people leave. And on top of that, you're not going to get your roads done. You know, I cannot understand for the life of me, what's the end game? What's the end game? Other than just a few super minority people that want to grandstand and, you know, show their back end. Really, that's about all they're doing. Come on now, guys. They got me here.
I have a non-policy question. Speaking of roads and hunting, your vehicle out here looks like it maybe suffered some damage. What happened?
Well, you know me, you got to tell the truth. I went to the Eastern Panhandle, went to Kaiser, and went to 5 different places that day. And, you know, I drive everywhere I go, but I couldn't make it. I couldn't get to Kaiser and to Martinsburg and Charlestown, Berkeley Springs, and Moorfield all in the time frame from the standpoint that, you know, it was 10 o'clock at night before I got, you know, done the day before. And so I flew to Kaiser the next day on a state plane, but the state police took my vehicle to Kaiser that night. And when I got to Kaiser, then I drove. Well, when I got to Kaiser, I discovered one of the state policemen that was driving my vehicle to Kaiser plowed into a deer along the way. You know, and so that's what happened. So my vehicle still got deer hair in the grill. He said his razor-sharp reflexes almost enabled him to deflect and miss a deer. And then when I looked, I thought, well, I don't know how razor-sharp the reflexes were, because it looked to me like you plowed it, to tell you the truth. You know, that's one thing that we're first in the nation, we're continually first in the nation is vehicular accidents with deer. But I think we've got to find something else that we're first in the nation in, and I want to find a whole bunch of things that we're first in the nation in.
Along that line,
Okay.
and Woody Crouch, you said this yesterday, he wants Sunday hunting on public land. Do you foresee expanding deer hunting in the state to help control this problem?
Well, I don't know. I think we'll probably have to leave that up to the legislature, and if they pass it and everything, I would probably be supportive of, there's a lot of people that don't have private lands to go hunt on, and a lot of people just want the ability to be able, I mean, they work 6 days a week, and they'd like to go hunting on Sunday, and of course, I want everybody to go to church and all that, but I don't want to, bestow my views on anybody. But I don't know. We'll probably have to wait for the legislature to do that, and we do have, our DNR does a fabulous job, guys. I mean, they really do. I mean, you realize that in 1912 or something like that, we had our first deer season in West Virginia, and we killed like 30 deer, and then we closed it for, like 5 years or something like that. And then we reopened it and we killed like 60, and today, there's 200,000 harvested, so it's amazing what we've done, but at the same time, it's, it's something we're all aware of. It's, I've never hit a deer. I'll probably plow into it because of saying that tomorrow. But it's something that, those accidents can sometimes turn out to be tragic. So really tragic. My vehicle's torn up a little bit. I'll fix it. I'll fix it on my dime and everything, and that's what'll happen. But at the same time, thank goodness or thank the good Lord there wasn't anybody hurt, and that's what can happen. We got a problem there. Yes, sir.
You were out.
How do you know things like my vehicle? Okay.
No, you have been out traveling quite a bit though, around the state. 5 in one day in
Sure.
Eastern Panhandle, Northern Panhandle, all over the place. Bluefield this morning, right?
All right.
I just wonder,
Rainell this evening.
did you enjoy it? You interacted with the public quite a bit. Did you learn some things that you hadn't before?
I love it. I really do. And I think my way of talking just directly to people, the folksy part, I think it resonates with the people, and I think, I love being with the people, and it doesn't matter to me if somebody's got, a harsh comment or something like that. I didn't run into hardly any of that, but at the same time, I love being with the people. Remember, just always go back and remember what that lady, who was probably the most unlikely person in the world to bond with me, was Florine Warden, and she used to say, Jim's as common as an old shoe. Well, really and true, it's not real flattering maybe, but that's all I want to be. Your governor, the owner of the Greenbrier, the guy that ran 102 different companies, the guy that's supposedly a billionaire, and all he really wants to be is common as an old shoe, because that's really what we should all be. We shouldn't be looking down on people. We shouldn't be kicking anybody. We should all be gathering a rope together and trying to run across the finish line. That's why I've said repeatedly, about, being a Republican, being a Democrat, really being an independent, we ought to first be West Virginians. Well, I think.
You mentioned the importance of,
Well, you got a lot of questions.
well,
Got a lot on your mind today, don't you?
you mentioned the importance of people participating in voting, but do you think that increased participation may make the results go one way or another?
I think that from going around the state, I think the overwhelming majority of the state wants to see this succeed. You've got a few naysayers in everything that happens, but I do believe that the majority needs to speak here. We do not need to awaken to the minority speaking and say, what have we done? So I would encourage, and if the majority thinks no, then that's how it has to be, and I'm okay. But I think really and truly that I would challenge anybody, please somebody tell me, has there ever been an election any more important than this? I mean, we're the only state losing population. We're dead last in everything coming or going, and we've been that way forever, and you got a situation in front of you where everybody knows you gotta have good roads, and here's a situation in front of you that all the funding is in place. There's no new taxes that are going to be imposed on anybody. We can get our roads done right now and generate all kinds of revenue for us and create tens of thousands of jobs. And we could say no, it's just, I can't fathom if you get a no. And I could turn right to Mitch and put Mitch right dead on the spot and say, Mitch, what are you going to do if you say no? And he's going to say the same thing that I would say if he asked me. I don't know. I don't know. What can you do? You can't do anything. We're not Houdini here. It's just got a rabbit in our hat. It's just, we're not. If this thing goes down, this is the only place you can create an immediate job. Now, if it goes down, we're going to end up standing out there on the river and just hoping somebody floats by, in a boat with a bucket full of money. Because we'll be in really a tough spot. And that tough spot will equate back to our people, and that's really bad. Yes, sir. I thought Mike had a question. Okay, now I'm going to leave unless Brad's got another question. Okay.
The emergency light has been on upstairs in the buildings. This has nothing to do with, that I know of, with the road call, unless that's an emergency. But do you know why it's on?
I don't have any idea why it's on. Didn't know it was on. I was a whole lot more worried about the dome ball than the light.
You can say this.
Maybe that's why it's on. Okay. Thank y'all for coming. Go vote. Go vote. One way or another, go vote. Thank y'all.